Okay, good morning guys. I just want to let you know today I am patrolling. So I'm going to be patrolling what is called Paintbrush Canyon, and I'm going to hike up there to see how many of the campsites have thawed out yet. I will not be able to get all the way to the top because there still is snow, but we're just going to see how far we can get. So I'm about to call in on my radio and I'll show you guys how to do that. What you kind of want to do as a rule of thumb is like, hey you, it's me, to get their attention, and then you wait for them to respond, and then you tell them like your traffic. So I'll show you guys how to do that in a minute. Crossing a bridge. It's covered in snow here, so I thought that was pretty cool. I've been hiking in just straight snow for like the past hour. So yeah. This is so cool. I'm going up that way. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the camping zone, and it is completely covered in snow. So that's what I came to report. Camp on the snow. And look at that view. I have no idea how I got up here. I like scrambled up this mountain. Hang on, I'll show you in the snow. I don't know if y'all can see how steep that is just based off this video, but yeah. So when you're hiking in the backcountry, anytime you hike in snow like this at this high of elevation, you always want to wear snow crampons and be prepared to post hole. So I would definitely recommend like an ice pick. Especially if you're planning on going over mountain passes. That's kind of big. And then obviously like I'm not going to be hiking too much further. I'm trying to get to Lower Paintbrush, which was probably about maybe like 5 miles from the parking lot. So I'll have hike like 10 total when I get back, and then I'm going to go check out another one of the lakes to see how many spots are open there. But never hike by yourself in snow, because if you trigger like an avalanche or something, you're gonna want somebody to pull you out. Also keep a lookout for other skiers or snowboarders. A snowboarder almost ran into me. I was like, oh my god, he scared me so bad, but like they can't slow down. So I wasn't really thinking to like look for them, but I did just want to say maybe make sure like you're looking for them as well. Yes, regrowth. Lovely. But that view. We got a coyote print there. Bye. We're leaving the camping zone. We're heading back down the mountain. Just imagine this is my snow hiking fit.
See if there's anything significant. We'll let us know on the radio or give us a call.
So much snow. Of course, I had to stop and build a little snowman. So we're gonna keep hiking though. So bye, little snowman. There's a frozen little pond over there. Just thought you guys might like to see how much snow there still is. That's one of the trees. And you get a really good visual just based off of how the trees are thawing. And then I'm walking through it. This is amazing. This is the snow line. So like literally it was, the entire trail was snowy. And then look at this trail from this point on. That just goes to show you how elevation works in like open area. I swear trees talk. I'm not even lying. There's a view coming from the trail. Guys, look at all these pretty little high mountain flowers. And they are just growing all down the trail. We are getting relatively lower in elevation. Got a pretty little butterfly right here too. Let's see if I can get him to fly. Come on, little guy. Oh, he's a little dead. R.I.P. butterfly. Just now starting to rain. I think it has turned the sky a beautiful color. So pretty.
Teton dispatch 446 Hert. Table area and head away. Are you down by the river?
We've got another cool print here. Not sure.
Come right
what
south
that one
of
is,
all the
but
buildings.
looks like a coyote, but I could be wrong. We are now heading to Bear Paw Lake via Lay Lake. Okay, I'm about to turn around on the trail because it's raining. It's kind of turned into like a little crummy day, so I don't want to get too far away from the car. So I'm gonna head back, but I'll keep you guys updated. Teton dispatch 197 Franzi.
197 Ramsey.
You can terminate backcountry tracking.
Do we need to use tracking 1430?
The lone survivor is there. Me and Claire gonna go eat at the lodge. Having a girls' night. The lodge. Look at our view. Well, it's cloudy, but. Okay, I got fish tacos, and Claire got this amazing looking blue cheeseburger. Okay, well, guys, I'm sorry. I was in the middle of brushing my teeth, and I just look out my freaking window, and it's snowing. So I guess I will be needing my snow pants today when I patrol. Snowing. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's coming down pretty good. Good morning. It is Tuesday, and I am doing backcountry patrol again today. So what I'm going to be doing this morning is I'm going to be hiking to Bear Paw via Lay Lake, and I'm going to be checking out to see how many sites are thawed out from the snow. So it did snow this morning, you guys saw. This is lower elevation, so hopefully we won't be getting as much snow here. We're gonna go see if there's any campsites sold out there. And then secondly, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to hike as much of Granite Canyon as I can. So I'm gonna get as far up as that trail as I can with the remainder of my afternoon. So we're gonna head out to Bear Paw and see how it is. Wow.
Teton dispatch 458 Elkchan, Signal Mountain Junction. Depot 3.
Okay, so here's one of the group sites, 12A, and it looks somewhat thawed out. So here's another campsite. So this one's pretty melted, looks nice. The trail is getting ready to split here. So to the right is Bear Paw, to the left is Trapper. I'm going to the right, and then I'll probably double back and head to Trapper. So there's also campsites up by Trapper, so we're gonna go check it out. Here is the Bear Lake campsite. It's still pretty under snow, but it is starting to melt out, so that's good. There's the fire ring over there. Pretty view too. Here's where it looks like you set your tent, so that is thawed out, so that's a good sign. The Bear Paw Lake campsite is fully thawed out, and most of A is thawed out as well, so just wanted to give an update on that. We got a creek crossing. I love these. Well, we made it. This is Trapper Lake. It's pretty reclusive site too. It's so pretty.
Jackson Lake Lodge housing office for the 53-year-old male. Further information, he has been...
Okay, well, that was a female moose, and moose can be very aggressive, so you have to be very careful if you stumble upon them on the trail. And you're gonna do one or two things, depending on if they are minding their own business or not. If they're minding their own business, moose can't really see good, so you can be really still and really quiet and kind of see if they wander off and they mind their own business, or, you know, hide behind a tree and just be really still, really calm. Or like in this instance, me and the moose almost ran into each other. She was very close to me whenever I first like bumped into her on the trail, and she kind of wandered off whenever I took that video. But what I did was I stopped, I kind of put my hands up, and I was like, hey, like, you know, so that she acknowledged that like I was there and I didn't spook her. She kind of like looked at me, and then she kind of just wandered off in the other direction, and I kind of continued on trail nice and slow. I did stop for like a solid second though, kind of gather myself, be nice and still, until she kind of like wandered off, and then I kind of continued on my trail, and I'm still looking behind me just to make sure. But she didn't seem aggressive, but they can turn aggressive pretty quick. Second thing is, moose are very clumsy, so they are aggressive, and you do have one that charges you. You're going to want to look for dense vegetation, so like trees, things like that, and you're going to want to run into the thick part of the trees, because they can't really maneuver very well in the thick trees. So those are the two things you can do, like I said, depending on what type of moose you encounter. So that's a little bit of moose education for you guys. So yeah, I found such a pretty little bird's nest laying literally in the middle of the trail, so I think it probably blew out of one of these trees. So I don't know, I'm gonna like return it or something. Maybe it'll come back for it if it's sitting up there, but that's unfortunate. Okay guys, we are back. So I am getting ready to head up. Actually, I'm heading down to Moose to go to the Granite Canyon trailhead, and I'm going to just hike up that as far as I can go. So I think what we did here today, I did the Jenny Lake loop. I did the Bear Paw trail, and then I did Taggart Lake trail. So I did all three of those. So I think in total, like there and back for all that was about like 12-ish miles, maybe a little less, like 11, 12 miles, something like that. So yeah, I'm about to head up to Granite Canyon, check out that area, see if I can make it at least to the first camp zone. So I made it to like 3 camp zones here. So I checked those out, and I will be reporting what I find in our backcountry log. So yeah, it's still pretty snowy here though, so would not recommend camping in the backcountry till a little bit later in the season. So, but I mean, if you like ice camping, go ahead, like do it. But all right, we're gonna head out. Okay, update. We did not do the Granite Canyon hike because it started pouring rain. But on the bright side, hold on. Look at what your girl got today. Her PIV card, so we can make sales now. Woo! Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to give a quick update on what I am doing today. So it is about 1:25 here in Jackson, and I ended up coming down to Jackson. I'm gonna go to REI, and I'm actually looking to buy paddleboard today. REI is having like a big sale for Memorial Day, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my paddleboard this week. Because I know that I've been wanting one for years now. So I'm gonna get it, and honestly, like, the park is the best place to have it. And then secondly, what we're gonna do is we have to actually get any watercraft. So any watercraft that you're taking into the national park, you have to get it inspected for Wyoming invasive species. So even if it's new, doesn't matter if it's new or not. I could literally bring the brand new box, they'll cut it open, inspect it, and then they give me like a little card. And my roommate Claire actually does the WSI inspection. So you'll hear me say WSI, Wyoming invasive species. I know we joked around about her doing fish, but she actually does anything to do with the Wyoming invasive species. So I will see about taking my brand new paddleboard to her so that I can get it inspected. So in the national park, in Grand Teton National Park, you need 3 things if you have a watercraft. So the first thing that you need is that WSI inspection, Wyoming invasive species inspection. You have to have that regardless of what type of watercraft you have. Secondly, you'll need the Grand Teton National Park 2025 or whatever year you're visiting sticker for your watercraft. And you can pick those up at any permit office. So any of the 3 main visitor centers will sell those. The non-motorized boating permits are going to be $25 as of this year. And the motorized boating permits are going to be $75 as of this year. So you'll have to make sure that you bring like your register number if you have a motorized boat. If you don't have a motorized boat, then you won't need like your because you don't have a number on your boat, but you'll need the make of your boat, things like that. So thirdly, if you have a watercraft, you will need the Wyoming watercraft sticker as well. I don't know how much those are because we actually don't sell those at the permits office. That is a completely separate thing. It is the state of Wyoming that requires you to get that sticker. So it's kind of like the same as the Grand Teton National Park sticker, only it's the state version of it, and you have to have both of those. In the only instance that you don't have to have the Wyoming state sticker is if you have a stand-up paddleboard, so a blow-up paddleboard. Any paddleboards do not need those stickers, or if you have a kayak less than 10 feet. So if it's less than 10 feet, you do not need that state of Wyoming sticker. Any other circumstance, you have to have the state of Wyoming sticker as well. So I hope this answered some questions about getting permits for your boats if you're looking to bring any type of watercraft into the park. Feel free, if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments, and I will be happy to answer those in a later video. And I'll also show you what those permit stickers look like. So I'm gonna pick up this paddleboard and do some grocery shopping while I'm in Jackson, and then we're gonna go see if we can find Claire. So I got one! I've been wanting one for so long! There's our Hilton, not yet built. prices are going up, and they'll only keep going up. Okay, so sadly, Claire was not at the inspection station today. She is doing her field work today, so I told her the next day that she's at the inspection station to let me know, and I would go and get my paddleboard inspected then. So we're gonna wait on Claire because I want to see her in action. I haven't seen her in action yet. And then I need to buy my sticker. So I will probably do that my day that I go back to work, because I can do that while I'm on the clock. And that will be my first transaction using my PIV card, which will be cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna wait and buy all the other stuff. I just can't take it out on the water until I do any of that stuff. I was trying to think of if I was missing anything else. Yeah, so I got the paddleboard taken out of the bag, stored in my room. Oh, yes, don't forget, here at Grand Teton National Park, you have to wear a PFD at all times, or have one available on the watercraft. So depending on what type of PFD, I'm gonna buy what's called a type 5. So in order for those to be like legal, you have to be wearing them. So it looks like this little, like, it'll either be like one that goes around just your neck and it's really low profile, or it'll be one that's like on like a little fanny pack. Those are both type 5, and you have to be wearing those in order for them to be considered legal. And I have a chart here. I'll kind of show you guys what we're looking at. Here's my little ranger chart that I hand out. Always be prepared, include your whistle, your PFD. You should have some sort of first aid, proper footwear on the water, you know, depending on if you're in a boat or not. Throw bag, which those are for quick moving water typically, like if you're doing rapids or something like that. Throw bag is basically like you throw it to the other person, and then it's got like this big long rope, and then you can help the other person kind of cross. Layers underneath if you need, like a sunshade, anything like that. I always like to say carry some form of like knife in your PFD, and that's to ensure like if you have to do an emergency like rope cutting, you'll have some form of knife to cut that. So you always want to have a plan, tell someone about it, check the weather forecast, and speak up if you have any concerns. So these are the pamphlets that we hand out, but a little bit of water safety. Good boba tea. All right, so I just bought my permit for the year, and then me and Claire are gonna go float the snake. Okay, me and Claire are about to head out onto the lake, and I'm so excited. I can't believe this all moves. I know. We made it! That sounds good. I love this place. I've never... Not me laying on my board to get this footage. Hey guys, we made it back in one piece. We are live. It started pouring like literally right after we packed up our stuff, head back to the house, and it started raining, so we made it back just in time. Coulter Bay grocery store did open today, which me and Claire already checked out this morning when we got our boba tea, but we are gonna head back after she gets back from the gym, and we're gonna go get ice cream. So I'm so excited for ice cream, but it was a great day. We ended up not doing the snake. We ended up going down to Lake and paddling there. It was a good way for me to get a feel of my board before we did the Snake River, because it's a little bit faster moving water in the Snake. And then we got our water craft inspected. So she got her kayak inspected and I got my paddleboard inspected. So we did that, and we both got our stickers. So we did that this morning, and then it was so much fun. So I definitely recommend buying a paddleboard if you're going to be in the Tetons for more than a week. 10 out of 10 worth it. It was so much fun, and I cannot wait to use it this summer. So, but yeah. Good morning. I'm out here at Jackson Lake, and I'm about to paddleboard, and I did just want to show you how to blow up this paddleboard. So super easy. So first, I've got my paddleboard laid out. The next thing I'm gonna do is check this pin. I feel like everybody's is a little bit different. The pin's in and turned like that. You can see how it's in. That means that the air is gonna release. But if you poke it, you want that pin to be sticking up. I don't know if you guys can see that. That means the air can go into it. So I'm gonna attach my hose from my pump, like so. Sorry, it's hard to do on camera. Like so, till it's locked in place. I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, my hose is locked in like this, and then we're just gonna pump this up. Okay, I'm out on the water right now, but there's a couple things I didn't show you guys. I ended up having a little audience watch me put together my board, which I thought was really sweet. It was like a tourist group, and they kind of stood on the beach, and they could only speak French. And one lady asked me if she could take a picture of me in French, which I thought was so sweet, and I was like, of course. But I attached my foot leash. This is very important, because if you ever fall off your board or something happens, you're always going to want to be attached to it so that you can make it back to shore. So I typically put mine on my right. You can put it on whatever foot you are, I guess, non-dominant. I guess that'd be the right way to do it, or your dominant foot. But yeah. So here is where I'm at now. Also, another thing, I blew up my paddleboard to reach anywhere between 10 to 15 psi, so I'd put 10 psi in here. But just make sure you read the owner's manual and you know how much psi to put in your blow up paddleboard. That was the only other thing. And then of course I put together my paddle, and I've got my sticker, because mine's a blow up paddleboard, there's not any place to attach it. I put it on my paddle, so you can do that here. But yeah, I'm just gonna float around for a bit because the sun is out and it's such a beautiful day, and I have the mountains behind me. So we're just laying out on the board in the sun and letting ourselves float. I've been out here floating for like a hot minute. I think I've been out here since like 9, and it's 2 p.m. now. So I did just want to give you guys some friendly reminders for when you're in higher elevation. This is something that I was thinking about because I was actually on the phone with Nana and Papa, and I was kind of talking to them, just kind of filling them in on kind of what's been going on this week. So when you're in higher elevation, you actually don't feel like you're thirsty. Why that is, I'm not 100% sure, like the science behind it, but your body will not feel thirsty. So if you go on a hike, like do whatever, you're out on the water, whatever you're doing, make sure you are drinking plenty of fluid, even if you don't feel like you want to, because you can get this thing called, we call it altitude sickness. It's basically where you get nauseated on your stomach, you get the worst migraine of your life. And that can happen simply by just not drinking enough water. That's one of like the primary causes of it. So just make sure that you are drinking a lot of water. And I've been pretty conscious of this, and I've been trying to drink a decent amount of water. So honestly, I probably should have brought 2 Nalgene's, but I just brought 1. But yeah, I was just gonna make sure that I touched on that, because a lot of people aren't aware that altitude sickness is a real thing. It is a real thing. So make sure you are drinking plenty of water to prevent that from happening. So I came from that point over there. Let me see if I can zoom a little bit so you guys can see. You know, like right there on that beach area is where I came from. So I'm just gonna let myself float over there, and then I'll probably pull out my stuff and sit on the beach for a bit and let it dry out. And I'll show you guys how to deflate your paddleboard and like fold it back up. So I know there's a lot of questions on how to do that, and I can show you guys how to do that. Okay, I have beached my board, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry off the whole bottom half of it. Okay, the next thing that I'm gonna do is remove my fin, and this can kind of be a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna pot the pen first. And because this is a fairly new board, it's gonna be kind of sticky, so I'm gonna have to get something to kind of knock it. All right, so I got it loose, and I'm just gonna slide it all the way out, so it should come out just like that. But I'm gonna make sure that this is dried out. All right, I'm gonna unattach my coil. Okay, and here is the fun part, deflating it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open this cap, and then in here is home to the pressure light gauge. So you're gonna let it about, like hold for like 5 seconds first. Then you're gonna push it in and turn it. So your board should start to look like this. You guys see all this extra air that's not coming out? I will show you guys how to get rid of that here in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna do what's called folding from the nose of the board to the tail, and it's gonna push out all the extra air. So I'm just gonna start folding from nose to tail to try to get all this extra air out. So this will take me just a minute to do. And I'm pushing as I go. And this does not have to be perfect because we're gonna unfold the board again. We're getting all the air out. So now your board should be pretty flat, and we're gonna let this air dry for a little bit. Now, I always like to reset my pin so that I know it's ready to go for next time. So this means that it's ready to go for next time with that pin sticking up. You don't want that pin pushed down and around, because if you fill up your air with the pin down, it's all just gonna gush out the minute you take your pump out. Okay, now while I wait for my board to dry for just a little bit, there's 2 ways to repack your board into the backpack right there. The first way, you can roll it. The second way, you can fold it. So, you know, it's obviously just like kind of like personal preference if you want to roll or fold your board. I have found that folding mine is easier on me personally because with the board you have like this little spot for the fin, and you want to make sure that that's not like folded because it'll like mess it up. So when you fold your board back up, you fold it from the tail to the nose. And I have found that I can kind of match my little tail fin to fold the board, which I'll show you guys. You just want to make sure that you're not folding it super tight so that there is air in between, so that it can kind of like dry out even when it is being stored in your pack. So I'll show you guys how to do that in a little bit. I am cooked, guys. Always wear sunscreen, which I did not do, and I'm cooked. All right, it's time to roll this board. So I'm gonna start from the tail, not the nose. The nose is up there. I'm gonna start from the tail. I'm gonna do a little fold to start off with. This is so hard to do with one hand, but I'm gonna do a little fold to start off with. Now notice how I have my tail fin here. This is the hard part, okay? So I'm gonna kind of match my fold to that. See how I did that there? And then I'm just gonna fold it again. And I'm gonna fold it all the way up my board. All right, we got it back into the bag, and I'm just gonna store the fin right in there with it like that. So, and then that's it. Should be able to zip it right up. Got my paddle on the side. So yeah. Okay, yes, I am crazy, and the last thing I'm gonna do is a polar plunge. So. I have to lay here to thaw out now. Literally frozen. Okay, well, for those of you wondering why I had the Band-Aid on in the video, it was to protect my tattoo. And I'm so glad that I did use it, because look at that. Look at that burn. So we learned our lesson. Use sunscreen. Okay, also, Claire corrected me, so I wanted to make sure I got this right in the video. You'll notice earlier when I was talking about boating permits, I kept saying WSI. That's actually water safety instructor. And because I was a lifeguard, I kept wanting to say WSI. It's AIS, not WSI. AIS is the inspection that you will be getting, and I'll show you the inspection card. Okay, AIS stands for Aquatic Invasive Species, so not WIS, which I thought was Wyoming Invasive Species. It's AIS is the inspection that you're gonna get. And you'll get a little card that looks like this whenever you get your boat inspected. You have to have the permit number on the bottom, and then you get it stamped with the day that you got it inspected. So anytime you leave the national park with your boat, you have to stop back at an inspection station and get it re-inspected. So I did just want to show the little card that you get once you get it inspected. So, and correct myself, it's AIS inspection. So, skating down to the store. Okay, we are down here at the boat dock and we're gonna be eating dinner at Leek's Pizzeria. The inter department is having like a little, I guess like get together, but Backcountry got invited to the interps get together here at Leek's because it's like a soft opening that they're doing. So we're gonna eat pizza here tonight, which will be fun. So we got our pizza from the interp night and now we are heading back to Coulter Bay, and I think I'm gonna go to a bar with Sophie and Sophia. Hey guys, so we're back here at the house. So I will be posting this video tomorrow. I just wanted to say thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more backcountry content, some more hiking content, things like that. Make sure you give my video a like, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments for me and I'll answer them in a video later. But yeah, so this coming week, my grandma and grandpa are coming to visit, so you'll probably see me with them a little bit. We're gonna be going on a tour of Yellowstone, so I'll get to show you guys a little bit of Yellowstone, which will be cool. But yeah, so next week we'll be back in the backcountry office. I'll be selling permits. It's probably about to start picking up. It was really busy today, so we're getting ready to start hitting a little bit busier season. Typically around June is when it starts really getting busy. So I'll definitely be showing you guys a bit more of the park as everything starts to open up a little bit more. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and I hope you enjoyed this week's video. See you guys next week.